今がその時だ!
Trust no one. In the world of anime, those are indeed words of wisdom. A lot of our anime heroes have had the misfortune of suffering betrayal and abandonment, but guess what? It's not the end of the world. It's these situations that give you a better view of the world's reality, and it's what the brave harness to become strong. So if you're up for some anime where the hero gets betrayed or abandoned and strikes back against fate, with him turning OP or even more OP than he already was in the process or something of the like, then you've come to the right place. Today, this is what our list is going to be about. I won't keep you waiting, so let's get the ball rolling. Starting off is Unlimited Psychic Squad. Here's a niche title to get things going. Unlimited Psychic Squad's a spin-off of another show, Psychic Squad. However, Unlimited Psychic Squad takes place from the perspective of Kyosuke Hobo, leader of Pandra and the major antagonist in the original series. In a directorial twist that's a preview of what's to come with Hollywood and their long line of movies starring the bad guy as the protagonist, this is the story where we see how Kyosuke's organization Pandra came to be. He's already one of the most powerful espers, but as we all know, the ones at the top are the same guys ripe for betrayal. With him being branded a fugitive, he sets forth to rescue other mistreated espers, gaining their loyalty in his efforts to bite back against the world. Psychic Squad's family-oriented atmosphere gives way to the dark atmosphere as we look at the journey of an anti-hero. Watch his rise from betrayal to becoming the one who'll soon threaten the world. Next up is a new kid on the block. I'm quitting heroing.
元勇者レオデモンハート魔王軍の採用面接を受けに来た
If you're looking for something more modern and standalone, there's I'm Quitting Heroing from just a season ago. This time our hero is Leo Demonheart. After saving the world and ending Demon Queen Echidna's invasion, he finds himself the subject of scorn. The problem? He's just too strong and could end up being a threat to humanity. So it's time to switch sides. Despite the rocky start, Leo manages to find himself amongst Echidna's ranks with the help of her 4 generals. Taking on a new identity, he starts working his magic within the army. However, he does have a major reason to join the army, a concern that's been bugging him for the longest time, knowing the reasons behind Echidna starting the first war. Because surely, no one wants to be fighting in the first place, right?
これは俺が魔王軍に入るまでの物語だ
Gemono Jihen comes in next. Appearances can be deceiving, but not in some cases. One look at Garbane can confirm that. He does give the impression of a neglected and unwanted child, being left working in the fields and the rest of the villagers wanting nothing to do with him. But he could also end up being the greatest asset for occult detective Gohachi Inugami, who arrives at the village to investigate a case of disappearing livestock corpses. It's this investigation that will lead Inugami to the world of the beast-like entities that live amongst humans, the Kemono, and it's this boy who ends up being his greatest asset. Abandoned and resented by the villagers, Gohachi could end up being the most important key to facilitate our detective's investigation. World's Finest Assassin was a surprisingly good show in its season. The world's finest assassin has no peer on Earth. Mercilessly killing for an organization, he meets his demise in the only way possible, in the form of a betrayal. Betrayed by his own masters and carrying regrets and resentment with him, he finds himself facing a goddess who gives him a second chance at life. Citing his expertise, the goddess had specifically chosen him to carry his skill onto the next life with a daunting task at hand. The world's in danger due to a renegade hero, and he must use his abilities in life to stop said hero and save the world. Reincarnated as the noble son Lug, he begins to learn about the world of swords and magic. With a second chance and a new direction at life, he begins honing his skills with his newfound comrades, settling for nothing short of perfection. After all, fighting the hero will require nothing less, and failure to do so will result in his second demise. Whether a hero is betrayed or ostracized, he would require all the help available to rise through the ranks and strike against cruel fate. While it's not anything as dramatic of the sort, ViniTube would like all the help we can get. So if you've liked what you've seen so far, please like and share the video and hit that subscribe button, because with your help, I'm sure that we're going to be able to take the channel to new heights. We proceed to a perennial favorite, the rising of the shield hero. When it comes to stories where someone rises up from being betrayed or abandoned by the rest of society, The Rising of the Shield Hero is probably the first title to pop up in anyone's mind. You know what this one's all about. 4 heroes get summoned to Melomark, a country plagued by the waves of monsters that have pretty much destroyed its land for years. Each of them is bestowed with a weapon to help repel these waves. However, Naofumi ends up getting the short end of the stick. Not only does he get a shield, his first adventure with mine ends up in disaster, making him public enemy number 1. But a setback like this isn't the end, believe it or not, and Naofumi is left to go through a journey of rebuilding the nation's trust. Along the way, he purchases the raccoon slave girl Raftalia, who could possibly be the key to saving the little good that's left in his betrayed heart. Together, the two fight to protect the kingdom, despite their reputations. And we can't talk about Shield Hero without proceeding to Ari Fureta. Ari Fureta, just like Shield Hero, is an isekai title that features someone being betrayed and coming back strong. However, Ari Fureta takes the power fantasy and edgy aspects of Shield Hero and then sends it into overdrive. Ari Fureta stars Hajime, who gets summoned to another world with the rest of his class. Stuck with a supposedly terrible ability and being the subject of scorn and envy, Hajime is ripe for the picking, and it doesn't take too long before his classmates send him on a one-way trip to his demise. The joke's on them though, because it's in that abyss that Hajime finds the secret to becoming strong. After rescuing the vampire Yue and gaining unimaginable power, Hajime sets forth to clear the dungeons and unearth the conspiracy behind the world and the secrets of the dungeon creators.
帰る。絶対に生きて帰るんだ。
We then have another overpowered hero show, something more vintage in Stigma of the Wind. Kazuma can be seen as something of a prodigal son of sorts. Due to his inability to control fire and defeat at the hands of his cousin Ayano, he had to endure exile for 4 years. Returning to the Ganagi household, he discovers that things have changed quite a bit. There's the mass murder thing going on for one. More importantly, the members have been murdered by wind powers, something that Kazuma ironically specializes in. This unsurprisingly leads to Kazuma being the #1 culprit. Now he must deal with Ayano once again, both to clear his name and to get to the bottom of the murders. Now that's easier said than done, however, with his partner being the one relative that he's not exactly on good terms with. How will the OP hero and his fiery cousin coexist? Battles, comedy, and a lot of showcases of power await in this one. Longtime favourite Tower of God makes an appearance here.
塔を登る力を貸せというのだな。
Tower of God is the first and arguably the best amongst the 3 webtoons that made their anime debuts in 2020, at least if we're talking about the adaptation. Tower of God tells of Balm. For most of his life, Balm only knew of a life sitting in the depths of a dark cave. However, his encounter with a girl named Rachel changes everything. In the process of becoming friends with her, Balm learns about the outside world and a tower that she leaves him for. With his one friend gone, Balm now has a purpose in his formerly meandering life. He has to go and catch up to Rachel and set his sights on the tower. However, in the tower is a world beyond his wildest imaginations, and he must be at the top of his game to survive the perils that lie within it. Each floor of the tower sends him to a brand new adventure, each with challenges greater than the previous one. But with his sights set on Rachel, nothing will stop Balm and his unshakable will. Finally, we close out this list with another personal favourite, Dororo. A classic that's since become one of my favourite modern remakes, Dororo is the story of Hyakimaru. Hyakimaru was born a child with literally nothing, and this was all thanks to his father's pact with the demons. No limbs, no nose, no eyes, I think you get the picture. It's the biggest human sacrifice there is, and the baby's left to die, abandoned and helpless. But where there's a will, there's a way. And there is indeed a way for Hyakimaru to once again become whole. As fate would have it, he gets saved and given prosthetics to fight the demons. To regain his body parts, he must defeat the demons one by one. If doing so seems like a monumental task, a new twist gets put in his journey as he meets and befriends the young orphan Dororo. Now the tale of the 2 castaways and their shared adventure of survival and redemption begins. And that's about it for this list. If there is one takeaway, it's that these titles prove the adage that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Despite what fate throws at them, these characters have overcome, and I think that's a pretty good message, all things considered, don't you think so? Before going, I want to thank you for watching. I hope that you'll have a great day ahead, and I'll be seeing you again in the next video. Goodbye.